Biggest mistakes buyers make in the beginning of the year in their purchase inventory. Hi, my name is Roxanne Govari with Pemberley Realty here in San Diego, California, along with my partner Santiago Guerin.
Hello, everyone. Looking forward to yet another topic. Today we're doing it on a Wednesday. We're splitting up our days, so today we'll be talking, a very interesting topic. And I have a few questions for you, Roxanne, since you're a professional and been in the business for such a long time, and see what mistakes buyers are making at the beginning of the year, or just in general too.
Well, well, wait, let me see. I've been in the business longer than how old you are. That makes me really old.
Yeah. A wealth of knowledge, though. So
All
there you
right, so let's go for it. So, biggest mistakes that buyers make at in the beginning of the year, start of the year. We're in January, so it's a good time to discuss those and see if those are some of the mistakes that we can walk our buyers through so that they don't make those mistakes if they are thinking of buying.
go.
So, number one, in my opinion, is waiting to see what happens, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
A lot of buyers, even when they are thinking of buying, they're thinking, okay, let me wait and see what happens. Maybe the prices become to go lower, maybe the rates go lower, maybe there's more inventory. And the mistake here
Hmm.
is that once spring basically start picking up, then it's almost like everybody comes out of their holiday coma. Everybody starts thawing from the cold. Literally, even if you're in California and you don't actually thaw with winter cold, but you still, once you go into spring, spring is the biggest busiest market of the year, and
Yeah.
everybody starts thinking of buying a house, right? So
Yeah.
if you actually get into the market January, February, you're ahead of the game. You're ahead of that rush that all the other buyers are going to get into once we get into the months of March, April, May.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one, and the other, there, number one, it's not getting fully pre-approved. Now, I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
this is one of those conversations that I have with buyers a lot. And the buyers come in, they contact a realtor, and they want to go and look at the property. And I know that on the surface, that feels like the best way to approach it, but
Yeah.
in reality, it's putting the cart before the horse,
Exactly.
because you have to get pre-approved first. You have to know how much house you can afford in
Hmm.
order to go from there to where you want to go to.
Yeah.
So that being the case, you've got to get pre-approved first. You got to see, okay, how much my monthly payment is going to be. Do I have any bills that I have to pay before I can actually buy? A lot of the times, and sometimes some really disastrous things happen as a result of this. You don't get pre-approved. You don't get your financial homework done early enough, and then you find your dream home, you go under contract, and all of a sudden everything comes to a halt because you had one late payment 3 years ago that the lender hangs their hat on and says, okay, you're not a trustworthy buyer, and we're not going to lend to you based on $100 that you missed to pay some cable bill 3 years ago. And
Yeah.
now your plans go down the drain because of some financial homework that you could have done ahead of time, cleared all of the misunderstandings, and would have like a perfect scorecard
Yeah.
before you actually start looking for a house.
Yeah. And kind of piggyback writing on what you said about, being pre-approved. What are some kind of errors with down payments and loan choices that people make? Like when they're already, getting under contract.
Great question. So a lot of people think that they need a whole bunch of money in order to purchase, and that is just not the case.
Mhm.
If you're a first time buyer, you can get into a home with 3.5% down, an FHA loan, which is basically 3.5% down.
Yeah.
FHA loans are very good loans, and if you think about it, 3.5% down is not a whole lot of money. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, let's talk about that, right? So if you're getting into a home at $500,000, 3.5% down is only 17,500,
Yeah.
which is it's not very little, but
Mhm.
if you're thinking I'm buying something for $500,000 and I only have to come up with 17,500, that's not bad,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Totally
Yeah.
doable. The part about the FHA loan that becomes tricky is that you're not putting a whole lot of skin in the game. So you're only putting 3.5% skin in the game of 100%. Therefore, therefore, there has to be an insurance that you pay for to supplement in case that you decide to foreclose on the property
Yeah.
or walk away from it.
Yeah.
So an FHA loan always comes with an insurance policy that you have to pay for per month to make up for the fact that you're not putting a whole bunch of money down. Because
Mhm.
the thought process is the more money that you put down, the more committed you are to the property, and you won't just easily walk away from the property because you have a lot of money of your own skin that you put into the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That makes sense.
you know,
Okay.
okay, so let's keep going, and let's talk about the third mistake that buyers make, and that is how fast homes could move. I
Yeah.
always say you have to think of it of, is this a cherry home or is this not a cherry home? Do you love cherries?
Yeah. They're
I
pretty
love
good.
cherries,
Yeah.
especially the ones that you pick off the tree and you pick them just at the right time when they're really nice and sweet, right? And juicy.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, if you come across a house that's really nice, a house or a condo, and you pick them right at the right time, and they're completely redone, and they look really nice. They're nice and juicy, and they're shiny and beautiful, and you get in, and you're like, oh my God, I can have parties here. I can sit and relax over here in the porch. I can watch my favorite movie in this living room. Oh my goodness, I can make my favorite cinnamon roll in this kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So those type of homes have the tendency to basically come arouse those emotions in anybody. Therefore, they're cherry homes,
Yeah.
and cherry
And they
homes
go
go.
quick. Yeah. Mhm.
Um, the one that we just put on the contract, the beautiful loft that we had for sale, and we just put it on the contract. You know what the agent said about the buyer?
Well, they fell in
The
love with
the agent said they had looked at another unit and they really liked it, and they were about to make an offer, and then at the last minute they were doing a search and they came across the loft, and and uh, and one of them, because it was a couple, one of them sent it to the other and said, "Oh my God, look at this one!" And we had advertised that we had an open house, so they came to the open house and it was love at first sight. So
it.
that's
Mhm.
an example of a cherry property
Yeah.
that, just basically leaves everything else in the dust.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
man. Jumping on whatever feels right, is pretty important, not sitting and waiting. Kind of goes hand in hand with the first point that you talked about, you know,
Exactly.
just waiting.
Exactly.
And then,
Now,
yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Well, number four, ignoring monthly payment reality. You really need to do that pre-approval
Mhm.
because if you don't do the pre-approval and you don't know exactly how much your monthly payment is going to be, then you're basically like
Yeah.
living up in the sky about how
Yeah.
much money you need per month,
Hmm.
and that could really hurt you.
Yeah. You don't have a clear idea of what you're gonna be paying for.
Exactly,
And,
exactly.
take
So
into consideration the HOA fees if it's a condo, um, stuff like that is very important.
exactly, exactly.
And I know we're talking a little bit about, um, you know, checking your loans and making sure that everything is good on that. And once you eventually get it under contract for buyers,
Yeah.
what are some of the things people miss during their inspections that you think is important?
It's really interesting because I just came across this. We had this in our broker meeting,
Mm-hmm.
where one of the brokers was saying that the buyers bought the home and then afterwards they found a whole bunch of stuff wrong, and the buyer's agent that they had picked to work with them was family, and then so they chose to work with this family member who was not a seasoned agent. And then once they got on the contract, and they had also worked it out so that the buyer's agent would give up all of their commission to the buyer. So there was not a whole lot of incentive for the buyer's agent to work and advocate for them. So they had so number one, they didn't pick their agent carefully. Number two, they decided not to pay their agent a fair commission,
Yeah.
and then they got on the contract. The agent decided that they were no longer going to be representing them and took off. The office that was representing them assigned another agent to them, but since that agent also didn't get paid for the transaction, they
Mhm.
had no incentive to actually work. So they actually did not do a home inspection on the house. And so did not do a home inspection, closed on the transaction, and afterwards they found all the stuff wrong. Now, when you are a buyer, so basically what not to do, right? Make sure you interview and pick a buyer's agent that is seasoned, that cares about you, and that is going to do their due diligence and make sure that you are getting into a property that is either doesn't have many issues, or if there are many issues, that they help you investigate and find out exactly what you're getting into, so
Yeah.
that you don't have any surprises after the fact. And also, if you're getting into that property, if there are anything wrong, that you know what those things are and can budget for them and fix them after the fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, picking the right person to work with is also very important, to make
Yeah.
sure that you have a good experience, not only during your escrow period but also afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, what other questions are you thinking that we can answer for our audience?
I mean, we kind of talked about the beginning of the transaction, when you are, um, you know, I would say, you know, what should a buyer be focusing on when they're looking for a home? Like, what are some specific, I mean, going back to the searching, what are some things that a buyer should be looking for in a home?
Another thing that's super super important, and with one of the buyers that we helped this past year, this
Mhm.
happened where we actually got together prior to hitting the road and figuring out what they're looking for. We got together in person and we basically went over their wish list. and talked about their must-haves and not their must-haves. Talked about what areas they wanted to be in. Talked about whether or not they wanted to be in a single-family home or a condo or townhome. And talked about the features of the property that they wanted to see. Talked about the condition of the property that they wanted to see. And so essentially, we went over all their wish list and anything that would go into them making a better decision. Not only it helped them clarify what they were looking for, but it also clarified for us to what is their taste, what is it that they really want to see, and the process of going through that and almost the process of elimination really helped to basically set them up correctly. We wound up looking at no more than 5 or 6 properties before they found the right one. But that was after we had already gone through almost like 200 homes, and like basically saying no to this one because it's in the wrong neighborhood, no to this one because it doesn't have X, Y, and Z, no to this one because it doesn't have 1, 2, and 3, and so we basically went through a whole bunch of homes, and not to see which ones are good, but to see which ones to like eliminate. And at the end we narrowed down to, okay, these 6 homes basically check off all the boxes. And then we went and looked at those 6 homes, and out of the 6 homes, 2 were like winners. And then we did again a process of elimination. Okay, which one do we want? And then pick the first one, put an offer on it, ended up having multiple offers on that one property. And then we were like, okay, if we lose this, is the second choice going to be just as good? And we concluded that it wasn't. So when we got the multiple offers, we went up by $25,000 to assure that we're going to get that property. So some steps into, okay, what does it take to make sure that you win in the process and end up with a property that you really, really want or need?
I mean, and that all comes down to having a good agent, right?
Exactly.
That can help you with that process and making sure that, all the stuff is getting checked and done. So
checked and done. Now, one other thing, these days there's a lot of talks about Zillow, right? And everybody goes and looks at their Zestimate, and this is not about Zillow, although I am actually a proponent of Zillow these days because they do a great job providing the inventory and putting it in front of the consumer. So that I am actually an advocate of Zillow. But it's not about Zillow. It's about the fact that that when you are looking to purchase, you want to see whether or not you're overpaying, you're not overpaying. And again, it comes down to doing the research. If you're looking online and not just looking blindly at a Zestimate or at some other online valuation, but actually really dig into the data, really dig into what year was it built, how much improvements does it have, what kind of a condition does it have, and make sure that when you're picking the property and when you're trying to make an offer, that you really, really know the value compared to other homes that are on the market.
Yeah, I agree.
So there you have it. I think we covered it all, unless you're thinking of anything else that we need to bring to our audience's attention.
I think we covered everything pretty well. I mean, and if the audience has more questions, if you're watching this on YouTube later on, or if you're watching live and you have some questions,
subscribe.
Thumbs up. Yeah, subscribe. Shoot us a text. Roxana, maybe you want to show our socials and information, because
absolutely
would be there's Roxanne's number. Feel free to give her a call. She can answer any question, as well as myself. There's my number too. And yeah, follow us on Facebook. We have Instagram. There it is. We post videos. Um, you know, teach you guys a bunch of stuff on there. Facebook, all over social media. We're there. We got our website too, which you can go and check out. Um, yeah, just reach out to us.
Website. There we go. There's our
There you
website.
go. Yeah, reach out to us with any questions. We'd love to hear all your feedback, what you guys got to offer, any questions. We would love to help. And we're not just here in San Diego, we're all over the country. We have agents that we work closely all around the US. So, any questions on out of state things, we are also here to help. So,
Absolutely. And we love to be of service. So you can give me a call or you can give Santi a call.
there you go.
And please, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe and make comments so we can answer your questions and notify you once we have more videos posted.
Yep. Thank you so
And
much,
make it a
everyone, for
great
joining
day.
today. Yep. See you guys on the next one.